working with your systems means that I will always have the thing that is better than the thing that's out of box. And that's sort of like the holy grail.
Yeah, we think that this is incredibly valuable to anybody who's building on top of large language models. And we don't view the frontier models as competitors. They're the ones that were using the stilts, building stilts to stand on top of. But if we didn't have that foundational layer, then Poetic couldn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, being the smartest model, it's a game of inches actually, and so those inches matter a lot.
Right.
How do we actually get started? I mean, you've built something that basically any startup could use. That it's sort of like stilts, really.
We have built a system that can automatically generate systems for your particular problem that will always outperform the underlying language models. And without kind of the massive expense, as you're saying about the bitter lesson, where, what would you have done without Poetic? You probably would have said, okay, we're going to first collect a large data set, like tens of thousands of examples for our particular problem that we're working on. And we're going to fine tune, the best model we can get our hands on. Maybe that's, one of the frontier models, or maybe it's an open weights model. It doesn't particularly matter. You're going to spend a lot of money on that fine tuning. The compute is so expensive. And then at the end of it, you have something that, works better than the thing that you fine tuned on top of. But by then, a new model has come out, and it's better than the thing that you fine-tuned. You fine-tuned, 3 years ago on top of GPT 3.5 or whatever, and then GPT 4.04 comes out, and it just blows you out of the water. And so are you going to do that again, or are you going to go out of business? And in some cases, the latter. With Poetic, what we end up giving you is people are calling these things harnesses now, but or an agentic system or whatever you want to call it, that sits on top of one or more language models, and it just performs better than them. And when the new model comes out, that same harness is perfectly compatible with it, and you don't need to change anything to get the an even bigger performance bump. Additionally, we can continue to optimize for this new model, whatever the new model is that you want to use, and make it even better. But you don't lose out on hundreds of millions of dollars.